Hey there, Diane Conklin with Complete Marketing Systems and Diane'sFarmDozen.com. Episode 7. So excited to be back. We are on the second half of Diane's Farm Dozen, 12 lessons that I learned growing up on a farm that I now apply to business, mine and my coaching clients and done for you marketing clients as well. Number 7. Always, there is always work to be done. You are never finished, right? Do you ever feel like that? Um, I often tell people are like, well, I'm working all these long hours and I don't feel like I'm accomplishing anything, right? I still have, there's still so much work to do. You're never finished. And that's the thing about owning a business. There's always going to be more that you could do. And when you get to a point where you begin to leverage and you begin to scale, especially in the leveraging stage, some of that, not all of it, but some of it will go away because now you have other people doing things for you, doing things that you don't enjoy doing the things that you're not as good at. You know, I don't think there's probably any place else that exudes this particular lesson more than on a farm. Um, there's always something more to do, right? Even in we talked in the series about how everything has a season and that there are really no down seasons, and there certainly isn't on a farm. But even in times when the planting is done, um, and it's not time yet to harvest, or the harvesting is done and it's not yet time to start, winter tilling or winter plowing, and all the things that happen, even when it's really cold, or even when it's really hot, or even after the harvest. There's always, tractors have to be maintained, the equipment has to be checked, the animals still have to be tended to. There's always, maintenance and repairs and things to be fixed. The barn's got a hole in it, or something. There's a hole in the floor of the haymow, or the elevator, the grain elevator isn't working, or we need to go take uh, corn out of the cob in the mill and take it over and get it ground into feed for the animals. Whatever the thing is, um, there's always something, and your business is like that too. There's always something more. And so, how do you determine when you can stop for the day? And I think for me, there's a couple things. One is there's certain non-negotiables that I do every day. And so I can't get up from my desk until the non-negotiables are done. Period. End of report. Like it's a non-question. If it's a non-negotiable, then it has to be done, right? There's no not doing it. Um, so that's the one of the first things that I look at is, are my non-negotiables done? If my non-negotiables are done, then is there something else that I need to do today to get ready for tomorrow, or to get ready for whatever the promotion is that we're working on, right? Um, is there something pressing that I need to talk to a team member or about, or a vendor about, or somebody that's critical to what's going to happen in the next few days, or next week, even sometimes, depending upon what the thing is. And then I look at, one of the things that I do every morning, the prayer that I say every morning is that, we're allow me to make a difference in somebody's life today. And so one of the things I look at is, did I do that? Did I do something positive that has if I don't already know for sure, that has the potential to have a positive effect on a life? Just one, not 100, not 1,000, just one. Because if you do that every day, not only do you affect 365 other human beings on the planet, which may or may not sound like a lot, but the ripple effect of the people then that they affect, that they pass things on to, that they have a positive effect on, multiplies for you, right? So even if it was just one other person that 365 in that year that you affected, now you've doubled. So now you're at what, 700 almost, right? So it's that piece. I look at that. Did I do something today that has the potential to make a difference in somebody else's life or business. Um, and then there, so that's how I kind of determine, I look at those kind of three things: the non-negotiables, the impact on somebody, and the preparation for what's to come. Those are kind of the three, because there's never a day, and I don't think there's ever going to be a day, there hasn't been in the last 30 plus years, that I say, yeah, everything is done, because it's not. There's always another social media post. There's always another email. There's always another video to shoot, right? Another series. There's always something coming up. But the key, I have something that I call plans. And the N, it's an acronym, which I love. The N stands for next and now. Should really be now and next, but it sounds better, next and now. And so that's one of the other things that I look at is, what am I doing now? And what am I doing now to prepare for what's next? And how much of what's next am I working on? Hopefully that makes sense. I know that was a lot of ends and nexts and nows, but you're you have to at some point be okay with the fact that you're never going to be done. You're just not. And being okay with that allows you to then make a decision about getting up and closing your door. And when I say closing the door, it doesn't have to be literal, but closing the door on the workday, so that you can be 100% now wherever it is that you are, with your family, with your friends, at the gym, even just, watching TV, right? Instead of sitting in the evenings and having that downtime and thinking about the business and going crazy about what's not done and what I should be doing, right? You have to have a way. And for me, it's closing a literal door, but even if I don't close the door to my office, literally, which I don't do in the summertime because it's way too hot in here. Um, I close the door in my brain, in my mind. In my mind, the workday is over, and now I'm on to whatever the next thing is, right? Now, sometimes I open and close the door during the day, and this really depends on your work schedule and how you work best, right? So I'm usually at my desk by 8, if not latest by 9. Um, I sometimes take a break somewhere usually between noon and 2, usually around 2, to go to the gym. And sometimes when I get back from the gym after I grab a bite, right, I'll come back up and work for an hour or two. Um, but not every day, right? And so it used to be when I was in my 30s and when the business was in a kind of a different mode, if you will. I was at my desk by 8, worked all the way through, usually ate lunch at my desk, took a break and had dinner, and went back upstairs. My office tends to always be upstairs, and worked until usually 10 or 11 o'clock at night, 5 days a week, sometimes 6. But I don't do that anymore. And again, it depends on the phase of your business and where you are, right? If you're just starting out, or if you're in the growth phase, if you're in the leveraging phase, the scaling phase, or if you're in a phase in your business where you're kind of, phasing out, if you will, a little bit, and phasing down, and not working quite as much, and looking to a time of potentially selling, or stopping your business, um, as you set yourself up for hopefully a nice retirement, if that's in your cards, and it doesn't have to be. But you have to get okay in your head with the fact that it's never going to be done. It's just not, because there's always going to be more things that you can do, but you have to finish a day, you have to finish a week, and know that you did your best. The week is done. It's time for the weekend, whatever you have planned, or a day, or whatever it is. And then be 100% there where you are, with your friends, with your family, by yourself, at the gym, whatever it is. But just know, again, episode 7, there's always work to be done. You're never going to be finished, and you have to figure out a way to mentally be okay with that. I hope this was helpful. If you have a story, or if you have something that you'd like to share about this particular episode, let me know. Put it in the comments, and or reach out in any way that you see fit. If you need help with this piece of your business, um, and the mindset that has to go behind that. Let me know. Let's have a conversation. Again, if you want a copy of this, go to dianesfarmdozen.com. Until next time, make it a great day. We'll see you soon.